Did I start recording? Yes, I did. I'm not ready. Why did I do this to myself? I'm not ready. I did not post nearly the amount of content that I thought I would post in January. I did like 2 videos, 1 video, I don't even know. I just don't have any ideas except for some vlogs that are gonna take a bit of time to actually create, to film, to exist, to experience, whatever. So I don't have any standalone like sit down, edit, film, edit, upload in one sitting videos yet. So just, you get me when you get me, and that is the vibe. I am not, YouTube is not even a thing that I think about as like a, oh shit, I need to do that, because that's what made me hate it and leave last year. Today I wanted to share with you my February TBR. I'm doing it like this because this year, if you watched my January TBR, you'll know that I am doing Hannah from Ladette M's Gerbitathon, which is a Sims based readathon. She's doing it through Discord, but basically you can start at any age, life stage, whatever, but basically there's a whole bunch of prompts for needs, wants and skills, and each age range has its own requirements for how many of those you need to hit before you can age up, and it's a whole thing. It's simple but complicated because it's so intense, because it's a whole year, but it is entirely dictating my reading for 2023. I see people in the Discord who are like, yeah, I read this book, it's not for Gerbit, and I'm like, but why? Why would you not give yourself the skills? Like, some people are seriously, like, they're, I don't know if they're taking it more seriously or less seriously than I am, because every book is a Gerbit book for me. I will make it work, even if it only gives me 1 skill. Like, I'm reading books that fit Gerbit. Maybe it's because I also just don't read as much, so someone who's reading like 10 plus books a month, they don't need to use all of them, because otherwise they'd complete it really quickly, whereas I'm only reading about 5 books a month, so I'm gonna need the whole year. I don't know, we're not here to discuss people's Gerbit habits. My entire reading for 2023 will be dictated by this readathon, and potentially some others. I'm not saying that I will never pick up a book that doesn't fit for Gerbit, because I'm like doing book clubs and maybe some readathons, read-alongs, so there might be some books that I need to read by a certain point that don't fit, and that will break my heart, but it's fine, it's not serious. We're reading for fun, but I'm competitive with myself. So what my point is is that while this is a February TBR, it's more of a child TBR, because in January somehow I managed to read both the baby and the toddler prompts. Now that's a slight lie. I have 2 books that I need to finish to be able to age up to child, and today is the 31st of January. I could theoretically finish both those books today. It is only 2:15 in the afternoon, and I worked out I have about 5 hours of reading to do. So, you know, it is possible if I stop procrastinating by doing other things and just start reading. I digress. My point is, for the however many time, this TBR is my child TBR. I do think I can read it all in February, and therefore I would be starting my teens books, but I haven't finalised my teens TBR, and also I do switch up books sometimes, because the way that Gerbit is, some of the prompts are like really specific. For the needs, it's things like claws on the cover, clowns, pink cover, leaves on the cover, African mythology, things like that, that are pretty specific, that you need to pick a specific book for, and you can easily kind of look at look at a pile of books and go, that fits that. Then there's things like skills and wants, which can be a little bit more broad. So for example, I think once we get into teens, that's when the wants get a little bit more specific. So right now I think for like toddler and child, the wants are things like audiobook, middle grade, buddy read, next in a series. Again, things that you can kind of plan in advance. Whereas once you move into teen, it becomes things like kissing, parties, ghosts, which, okay, ghosts you can kind of, even all of those prompts you can kind of plan in advance, but for me, who doesn't really have books specifically about that on my like TBR, like generally it's the sort of thing that I'm just gonna have to read a book and then be like, oh, that fits that. So my teens one is not solidified, and I don't know if I will get to it in February. So what I'm gonna do is my TBR I'm going to tell you, this is a really long-winded intro, I'm going to tell you my child's TBR, and then if I finish it mid-February, I will do a teens TBR in the middle of February rather than a March TBR, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the bloody books. So first up, I will be carrying over This Much Is True by Miriam Margolyes from my January TBR. I was reading this when I was a baby and then through a toddler. I kind of haven't read it over the last week or so because it doesn't really fit anything I needed for toddler. It also doesn't really fit anything that I need for child. But I'm like about halfway, nearly halfway through. I don't even know. A quarter of the way through. This will get me the mechanical and the charisma skill, which is non-fiction and first-person POV, so I will get some skills for this. I could probably hold it off until like a later life stage and it count for a need, but I've already started it. I don't want to wait on it. And to be honest, it is a book that I'm reading slower because I'm literally hearing Miriam's voice in my head. I should have just got the audiobook. Yeah, it's a slower read for me because I'm just really enjoying it and taking it in. So it might be that I do finish this when I'm an elder, in which case maybe it will fit another prompt. But for now it's just giving me some skills, so we're enjoying that. There's me saying that I'm not reading books that don't fit things, but I mean it does, it's fitting skills. It's fitting for skills. Sorry. To complete my child's life stage, I need to hit 5 needs, which include the fun and social prompt. I need to get 1 skill, which Miriam's got us 2, so we're done there. And I need 5 wants. Now, if I recall, they all need to be different. So I couldn't read 5 books that hit the same need and it count. They have to be 5 separate needs, which is what makes this freaking complicated. Same with the wants. It's so stressful trying to hit all of the wants, but I've done it for child. I'm very impressed with myself. So first of all, I mean these aren't really in any order, but first up I have my fun/energy need book, which is a magic school and a middle grade sci-fi, and I have picked Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun by Tola Okogwu. I'm sure everyone's heard of this. I hadn't until Hannah sent me it, but it is about a girl whose hair is extraordinary because it makes strangers stop on the street, and then she discovers she can control her hair with her mind. What was once an insecurity now becomes a superpower, and then she gets whisked off to the Academy of the Sun, which is a school in Nigeria where Solari, children with superpowers, are trained. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. It's quite short, so I'm really excited to see where it goes. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm obsessed with this cover. And this also fits 2 wants of set in a school. It's literally called Academy of the Sun, and also middle grade. So this is a very good book for me for Gerbit, hitting off 4 prompts. And the second and last required prompt is the social need, which is hobbies. So as you do, as I do, I've stretched it slightly and I've gone with The Writing Retreat. I can't remember the author. I think it's Julie or Julia something. I might be completely wrong. Writing. That's a hobby. I realise this is a thriller. So what? Maybe murder is a hobby of mine. You would not know. You probably would. I think I'd be caught pretty fucking quickly. Anyway, I'm talking out my arsehole today, as usual. So yeah, this fits my social need and it also fits a want of being an ebook, so done. Next, for my hunger and comfort needs, which are witches and bullying, I'm going to reread via audiobook A Kind of Spark by Elle McNichol, because I fucking want to. Why not? The TV show's coming out sometime in spring. April we're looking at, I think Elle said. I say we like I'm involved. It's looking like it's gonna be April for Autism Awareness Month or Acceptance Month. I don't know what term we've decided to go with on that one yet, but I'd like to reread it before I watch that. So as I say, that hits the prompt for witches because that is the entire premise, and bullying because people are shitty and bully autistic kids. I would know. This also gives me a creative skill point for being colourful, and it hits 2 prompts, which are audio and middle grade, although as I said, I don't know if I can double up. I already have middle grade and ebook, and the ebook one is ebook/audio, so potentially these wants are useless, but it's fine because I have other wants that satisfy. So since we're on the topic of Elle McNichol, I also intend to read Like a Curse this month. I was going to reread Like a Charm, But then I would have just ended up rereading Show Us Who You Are and having an entire reread of Elle McNichol, which to be fair could be quite fun, but it doesn't fit in with Gerbit. So this book is being released in February. I'm going to the launch on the 2nd, so I will have my copy. I am going to want to read it immediately, so I have made it fit. And it fits the hunger need, which again, witches. It gives me a creative skill point, and it also gives me a want for next in series. So love that. Very excited to finally meet Elle. I have like supported and championed Elle's books since A Kind of Spark. It's been 3 years and I've never met her, so I'm very excited for that. Part of me is terrified that it's going to be full of kids at the launch and it's just going to be me, the only adult without a child there. But it is also 6:30 at night on a school night, so like maybe it will be people my age, like maybe it will just be a room full of autistic adults that love books and have found comfort and joy in Elle's books, and then I will make a bunch of friends because that's what autistic people do when we meet each other. And finally, I want to read 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I really enjoyed A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I still have the 3rd one to read, but this has just really drawn me in. I'm very keen to get to this. I've wanted to get to it since I bought it at the end of December, so I'm making it fit. So I have put this down for comfort / social, which is the bullying and hobbies. You cannot tell me that a fucking sniper coming after you isn't bullying. It's a bit extreme, but that's bullying. And I think I put hobbies, like put it down for the social prompt as a joke, because I was gonna make that joke about crime, but then I obviously made it previously on the murder. Don't come for me and how my brain works. It just does, okay? This also will give me my cooking skill point because it's a mood read. I've been in the mood to read this since I picked it up, so it's finally gonna happen and I'm excited. And that's it. That's my TBR for child. How many books was it? 6? 6 books. I can do that in a month. I've read about 5 books this month. It's doable. I still have it in my head that I'm gonna finish. Oh, I've got the red thing, my camera's gonna die. I'm gonna read these books. Love ya. Do I? I'm sorry.